Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel again. Thank y'all so much for coming over. Got this video here from Piers Morgan Uncensored. It says, if Diddy walks, I'm target number one. Big homie leaves America. This is Big homie CC. I've reacted to a few of his videos where he was exposing a lot of the stuff that he had seen. Seems to have a lot of intel on a lot of situations, a lot of stuff that's going on right now. But saying he left America. Hey, hopefully everything goes smoothly with this. Appreciate y'all coming over. We ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's jump right into it. You can find the complete interview in the description below. Just because I know I'm gonna have to probably trim some stuff out. Let's jump right into it.
The prosecution delivered their fiery closing argument in the Sean Diddy Combs criminal trial, highlighting why these are episodes trafficking, why the evidence proves Combs operated a criminal enterprise.
Diddy was coming under fire for trying to tamper with witnesses while he was arrested. There are several people who were initially named to be witnesses. They just magically disappeared. I'm aware of a lot of things taking place in back channels, people receiving a lot of payments.
To shut them up?
Yeah, definitely. That's blood on my feet, on the ground. And the guy that's screaming to call 911 is the person who was on the other end of the gunfire. He killed me, but when he thought he was gonna die, he's begging for God. And due to the situation, the circumstances, I decided that it's probably best for me to live outside of the States at this point.
Wow. Why?
There are some adequate and imminent threats to me.
In the first week of Sean Diddy Combs' trial trafficking and racketeering, I spoke to his former bodyguard, Big Homie. He dropped a series of bombshell revelations about how he expected the trial to play out.
I expect to see a lot of strange things take place. I expect to see the defense team do a lot of steps to lighten the image of Combs. And we've been watching that take place. Somebody didn't want me to do this interview. I've had FBI come to my house before and tell me they found a threat against my life. I'm a person who believes that the Epstein's list is very similar to Diddy's list. Yes. I had sent there in a video of the guy, Combs, walking around collecting everyone's cell phone before they get onto a yacht to go party.
I seen that.
After 7 weeks of a trial that's rocked the entertainment world, the prosecution has now rested. The defense, meanwhile, started to wrap up their response in just 20 minutes with no witnesses called and without putting Diddy on the stand. So is Big Homie surprised by how the trial has played out? Does he think the verdict will be guilty or not guilty? And is he concerned for his own safety if Diddy was to walk free? Well, I can delightedly say that Big Homie is with me here in London in the main studio. Big Homie, welcome.
Hello, sir. Thank you for having me.
You're in the heart of Uncensored.
I will say this, especially as him being a bodyguard, I don't think he should have been saying where he was. If he feels like his life is in jeopardy, he shouldn't have been saying where he's located. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody know Piers is in London, but still, you know, I feel like he could have avoided that.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It's a pleasure. It's an honor. I'm glad to be here.
why are you here, first of all, in London?
Well, you know, I have a lot of engagements, speaking events, a lot of podcasts. So I'm really on a European tour right now.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And due to the situation, the circumstances, I decided that it's probably best for me to live outside of the States at this point.
Really?
Absolutely.
So you won't be going back?
No, sir.
Oh.
For how long?
Indefinitely.
Really?
Absolutely.
But you've emigrated, you've left?
Yes, I've left.
Wow. Why?
Shouldn't have said that. I mean, because my whole thing is like, the stuff people will do for money. He said he has all these podcasts to do and all that. I feel like if people want to reach out to podcasts, like you gotta be careful, man. He should know better than this for sure. For sure.
You know, we've got some intel about certain things, and shout out to my brother Bodyguard and the rest of our team. You know, there are some adequate and imminent threats to me. And, I made a agreement with my mother that at a certain age that I would eventually, try to settle down, have a family, and I wouldn't partake in violent acts and stuff like that anymore in the line of work. So, I always took my education seriously growing up, and my mom did a well job to make sure myself and my brother were cultured. So it's been a nice integration process for me. I'm loving London right now.
Do you think you'll set up home here?
Definitely.
Really?
Absolutely.
You feel safer here?
Definitely, I do.
I wish you would take
Absolutely, I do.
The glasses off, man.
I'm at the local Sainsbury's and like people stopping me after our first interview. A lot of people tuned in.
Yeah, 3 million people watched that interview. It was huge.
Right, that's huge. That's huge.
Did you get a lot of reaction to it?
I got a huge, almost an overwhelming reaction. A lot of support. A lot of people were. A lot of people were really interested to see you and I have a conversation.
Yes.
And a lot of people were pleased by it. So
I've got some reaction here. We took some comments off the Uncensored YouTube channel.
No doubt. What you got?
Eve Carr said, I've literally fallen in love with Big Homie. Wow. There's nothing more attractive than a man genuinely wanting to protect women and kids. I hope he stays safe.
Wow.
And then Gerald Slivka said, you, sir, have huge balls. He means you, for doing this interview. Hats off to you. I applaud you for what you and your team are doing. I hope you and yours are well protected. And at Think IT said, Homie was very, very careful. You can tell he knows a lot. He just can't say it on air. I hope this guy is safe and continues to do what he does best. On that last point, are you careful? Have you been careful about what you say publicly?
Yeah, very, very, very careful how transparent I am, due to the fact that, there are still victims that I want to protect their identities. And I just feel like a proper gentleman should always be wary of his etiquette. And, I'm far from a slouch. It'll...
Like, you see how he said his victims that he's trying to protect he wants to protect them. And, I said with the Diddy trial, like, it just seems like a lot was missing that I expected a lot more. I thought more people would be testifying. And like I said, I guess a lot of people either just couldn't get up there and do it, or, maybe he got to them. So I don't know. I don't know. But felt like something was definitely missing. I thought it would be more.
I'm a formidable opponent for anyone, but no man is invincible, and Father Time is undefeated. I'm not 20, 21 years old anymore. It takes a longer time to recover from things. I've been shot, I've been stabbed, I've been poisoned, you name it. And, in order for a man to combat evil, sometimes he must be able to enact evil as well. And, violence is not my identity. Just a toolbox a tool in my toolbox, I should say, because, you got to be wary of guys in positions of power who, if you spend a lot of money for a wedding and stuff like that, on rings to court a lady, just to be, your moral compass is skewed and it's flawed.
You mean like Diddy?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What have you, we obviously spoke near the start of the trial. We're now at the end of the trial, waiting for the
part I had to edit out when he was talking about the whole, like, how Diddy and the escort guy, what they did to Cassie, how they went to the bathroom on her.
Final arguments. Some interesting things. Just before we came on air, the prosecutors announced they've dropped some of the predicate acts in their case against him, including attempt arson, to simplify, they say, jury instructions. But the central charges remain unchanged, with the government now focused on forced labour. I've interestingly interviewed a lot of people, some of them with direct involvement here. It comes down to whether the jury believes that this was consensual or not. If he does walk, though, would you already fear about reprisals against you just for speaking out? Would you be genuinely concerned about him coming after you? Is that one of the reasons you've left the country?
Well, here's the thing, only thing I fear is God and my mom. And I made a promise to my mom that, I'm not gonna revert to an old lifestyle. And I know if he walks, I'm gonna be target number one, which is fine. I'm used to that. It's kind of exciting for me.
Is that exciting or is that slightly scary?
Oh no, it's definitely exciting, Pierce.
Really?
Yeah.
Explain that, because in my world, I wouldn't find that exciting.
Right.
Well, we come from different professions.
Yes.
In my profession, it's what we live for.
Or being someone's number one target.
Absolutely.
That's
Really?
wild.
Yeah. History was written by the best group of murderers. No religion, no border, no country exists without violence. In every society, even when humans were in the hunter and gatherers, Stone Age, you always had that group of guys whose sole job was to defend, protect, and if need be, go and burn someone's village. Yeah. So, I would be a part of that group.
The village burners.
Absolutely.
What if you had to defend yourself?
If I had to defend myself, pray for them, not me.
Wow.
For sure.
Do you think it may come to that? I mean, he might walk, and we're going to find out soon. He could be out next week.
Yeah, he could be out next week.
And he'll then know that you've been out doing these kind of interviews and, talking trash about him as he would see it. Others would think you've been honest. But if he's out and loose and dangerous, as you think he is, and you're number one target.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and to the hour of our death. Amen. And I'll leave it at that.
What does that mean?
I walk in the light. I believe in my faith. I feel like that's what got me here and this far. And no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
But do you think, knowing him as you do you think he would try and have me?
I'm about to show.
I guess when you are in the lifestyle that he's in, you become somewhat immune to it. It's some type of thrill. But boy, I guess he's trying to say is that he's ready. He's ready for whatever. But I mean, this is a big if, but if Diddy was to walk, to get out free, I can't see it happening because I feel like he's a narcissist and just crazy, but you would think he would be like, that was close. They almost got me. Let me try to get on the right track. That's asking a lot. But you would think he would go down that path. I mean, you got kids, like, we'll see. We'll see. All right. So I ain't gonna be able to show that. But he basically was talking to Pierce and showing him some footage of people who tried to come and take him out. And he was just showing what ended up happening to them instead. But yeah, ain't gonna be able to show that. But like I said, you guys can Piers Morgan Uncensored for the full video. So he's in London indefinitely. I feel like he's probably going to stay out there until the verdict comes in. If Diddy is found guilty, maybe he'll come back. But I still don't think he should have been saying where he was because they got people all over, man. Like I said, he said somebody put a $50,000 bounty on him. I feel like the whole world right now is waiting for this verdict to come in to see. Hey, appreciate y'all coming over and watching, man. Peace out.